Hi folks, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're well, hope your health is good, I hope things are going great, hope you're enjoying your week. It's a couple of, well, it's probably about a week actually since I did a video, and yeah, it's just, I feel like everything's changing at the moment, and I'm kind of redefining what everything means in life. And one of the things that actually I started to think about the other day was and it kind of came around in a very sort of circumspect way. We were talking about comedy and stuff, and I was saying how I hadn't really kind of like belly laughed at comedy on the television for quite a while, and that I kind of miss being like happy like that. Um, and also I kind of like thought about it, and I thought, well, I haven't really been massively unhappy either. Um, but I've had this kind of like, I don't know, periods of like just flatness. And I was kind of wondering what really kind of constituted being happy. And I kind of thought about a lot of the stuff in my life that have made me happy. I mean, when I say happy, kind of like, you know, a state of mind where I've not been unhappy, that I've felt, I don't know, maybe joyful or a sense of achievement. And yeah, so yeah, I kind of thought, I haven't really kind of laughed at anything just recently. And also I kind of thought during I was doing some work actually, I was doing some invigilation, and I thought about students that were kind of busily working away in silence with on their whatever the questions they were answering on their exam papers. And I kind of thought, like, what how happy will they be? Why an exam would maybe make you feel happy afterwards, or getting a degree would make you feel happy. And it's interesting. I don't believe that. And I kind of came to the conclusion that maybe happiness doesn't actually exist. Maybe happiness is just a word. It's I mean, obviously it's a word, but maybe it doesn't really kind of constitute anything. Or maybe it's happy is made up of lots of different components have to kind of fall into the right place at the right time. Um, but for my own life, I can honestly say that the times that I felt the best are have mostly come from um, overcoming problems, maybe challenges in life, um, being responsible. Um, None of them are just this kind of magical happiness that people say they have. I actually don't believe that. I honestly don't believe that somebody can just be happy. I kind of feel that's a delusion. Um, and generally, like a couple of people who say, "Oh, I'm very, very happy with life." Um, I don't understand why. Maybe they achieved stuff that they've never spoken about. But yeah, it just made me really, really curious what constitutes happiness. And the only thing I can say is, it's overcoming challenges in my life. And these aren't things that other people have maybe, forced me to undertake. These are voluntary challenges. So I did a degree. I hated exams. Um, that was a challenge to actually overcome something that you hate and triumph. By triumph, I mean passing them. Um, I loved dissertations, but and assignments, but they were like just as much of a challenge, and I really went through the pain barrier with some of them. When you open a book and you're looking at that same page for, I don't know, like half an hour, it's just resting on your lap for an hour, um, because it doesn't make any sense. It's like wading through treacle. That was a challenge. So academic stuff has always been a challenge to me, and I left school without any real qualifications, and so as an adult, as a mature student, going back to university, and I guess, getting through a degree, and then, having my dad there, um, at the ceremony to, that was, that was the payoff for it. But really, I did it for myself, just to, kind of prove that I was capable of doing it. And also the challenge actually started with that was from, a couple of years before when I was unemployed and I was on a back to work, um, training, which lasted about, I think it lasted about, no, was it 3 or 6 months? It was either 3 or 6 months, and we all attended a training center, and majority of the people on this training were probably, um, either late teens or early 20s, and but there was a handful of us, about sort of six of us, who were mature, um, attendees, if you like. And one of the things, I mean, I took on a challenge, actually, a voluntary challenge of trying to improve the situation for other people there. Um, but at the end of it, I they asked us, what you wanted to do, and I said I wouldn't mind going to college. And this was about 2002, 2001 probably. And I said I wouldn't mind going to college, and maybe then, if I do really well, who knows, I could go to university, which was like, it was literally, saying to somebody that never done a day's exercise in their life, you know, um, in 4 years' time, you'll be climbing Mount Everest, and maybe running a marathon. And that's what it kind of felt like. But, you know, I said it, and the people that were training us, God bless them, they were nice people. Um, they were probably in their maybe 30s. Probably not. No, maybe in their 20s. I think they were possibly in their 20s. And yeah, one of them said, forget it. You've got no chance. University's very difficult. You wouldn't cope with it. You've got no chance. And that was like a red rag to a bull. But essentially, she laid down a challenge to me, without actually laying down a challenge to me. So, yeah, my first challenge was to get to go to college, and I'll be honest, the first time I ever attempted that, I I couldn't start the course. I was very, very, I was kind of very fragile, and that was about a year before. Um, but yeah, the second time I went, and it was during the day, and yeah, it went really, really well. Then ultimately, at the end of that, all of a sudden, it was like, so when are you going to university? And I thought, well, you know, the college thing was, quite a big deal. Never even thought about university, but okay. So then I find myself enrolling university, and then 4 years later, getting my award on stage from my degree, with my dad in the audience. So that was a challenge, and I wouldn't necessarily say that, it wasn't euphoric happiness, from beginning to end. Each stage was painful, and it was something to overcome, and it was my own choice. I didn't have somebody with a gun at my head, and I think this is it. You see, with life, I think I felt a responsibility to myself, to actually achieve that, and it's slightly different from responsibility to somebody else, that's a different kettle of fish. But at the time, I kind of really felt that, I felt happy when I got it, and I think it was the combination of challenges and pain and breaking through barriers and stuff. Um, euphoric moments and real down moments. As a carer, I remember doing. I remember being in a hospital. With my friend and very poor mental health at the time, and sitting by a bed with my books out studying. So um, that is so. I suppose ultimately, I can't think of anything I've ever done in my life that has brought happiness without there being a challenge. If one says I am just happy because life is happy, and I'm happy, and I was happy because the sun came out. Um, I think that's very fragile existence. And yeah, if happiness is a thing, then I can only say my happiness has come at the end by overcoming things, by overcoming hurdles and obstacles, um, and it's a satisfaction. I think it's a chain reaction of one thing leads to another. I think the um, an obstacle, a challenge equals satisfaction, um, which kind of equals a state of mind where you you have empowerment, I guess. You have empowerment of life and of ability, and I think maybe happiness is a sum of many things, rather than just that's happiness and that's contentment and that's sadness. Um, and yeah, likewise, I think sadness is a feeling, but it is there's lots of little things that contribute to it that you might not um, be able to like quantify, and um, and I think when we don't have challenges and we don't have responsibility, that can lead to the unhappiness and maybe sadness, and we don't really know why we're sad. So well, yeah, everything's all right with you. You got everything. You know, this hasn't happened to you. That person is okay. You're okay. What are you feeling sad for? You've got a job. You've got friends. You've got family. You have kids. Why are you feeling sad? And I think it is sometimes it is it's the happiness that makes you sad. It is that feeling of when if you feel that you're just happy, um, you can kind of feel sad because it's kind of it. I think happiness and sadness are very close neighbors. And I think the one can tilt into the other very quickly. Um, and I think it's all the other packaging in between that can hold them apart and hold you. That can hold you in the middle. The middle ground is where you should be. You shouldn't be like ridiculously dementedly happy. And also, you shouldn't really end up kind of feeling really, really sad. I think if you can set challenges every day, um, maybe take on responsibilities, possibly for other people, um, with challenges, or be more responsible for yourself. So set routines and stuff. I think it kind of then pushes a happiness and a sadness further apart. But ultimately, if you just kind of live life like it's very, 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 very dangerous to just chug along in life because yeah, happiness and sadness are very, very close together. And like I say, before you know it, you can they join together at the hip, and you have these kind of like bipolarish moments where you're gloriously happy, then you're really down, then you're really up, then you're really down. Um, And I just think that, maybe investment into lots of different other things in your life can actually sort of keep those two elements stable and yeah, and content and yeah, and I believe that in the middle. So sadness that side, happiness that side. In the middle, you maybe have some sort of contentment, but like contentment comes at responsibility of overcoming challenges. I believe. That's just my take on it, and yeah, I didn't really want to make it this deep, but obviously I've got my challenges at the moment, the health challenges. So um, I'm doing everything I can to be responsible for myself, and I'm taking better care of myself while I've got these health challenges, um, because I want to give myself the best effort when the time comes. Still waiting for appointments and stuff. So, um, but anyway, you know what? Take care of yourselves and. Geez Louise, I hope to do some videos soon. I want to do a video of a geese at work, so I'm gonna, if it's nice tomorrow, I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna locate the geese. I think there's about 30 of them now. I think last year we had 19, so they've had lots of little baby goslings in the meantime, and who have probably grown up to goose size by now. And I want to do a video of that, and that would be my next challenge. And also, it will keep my mind off other things as well. So, until next time, yeah, take care of yourselves, and I'll speak to you soon.